Hello, friends. Welcome to The Real Side Stories. Friends, it was the night of June 11th, 1981. A man named Issei Sagawa was at his home in France. That night, he had invited a friend over for dinner. The girl's name was Renée Hartevelt. They were classmates, but the girl had no idea what was about to happen to her. She was in his apartment, and her back was turned when Issei Sagawa took out a gun and shot her. He had killed his own friend. He was actually a cannibal. Over the next several days, he kept eating the girl. I won't go into the details, but this story is so strange that it's hard to believe Issei Sagawa was born in 1949 into a rich family in Japan. His father was a rich businessman, and they had no shortage of money. From a young age, he had deep interest in literature, but this boy was hiding a dark secret in his heart. Friends, he always had a desire to become a cannibal. He had such thoughts from his childhood. Obviously, no one knew about this at the time. Friends, time passed, and he completed his master's degree in English literature, but the thoughts of being a cannibal still haunted him. When he was 24 years old, there was an incident in Tokyo, Japan. He followed a woman late at night. She was heading to her home and she entered her apartment. By the time Issei Sagawa got inside, the woman had already fallen asleep. He wanted to kill her and eat her, but she suddenly woke up and started screaming. Issei Sagawa was arrested by the police, but he was soon released. The reason was that his family was very rich. His father gave money to the woman, and she withdrew her case. In 1977, Issei Sagawa moved to France. He went there to pursue a Ph.D. According to him, every night he would think about killing and eating a woman. He even kept a gun with him. Then came the night of June 11th, 1981. When Issei Sagawa invited his classmate Renée Hartevelt to his home for dinner. He told her that he wanted to discuss some study-related matters. Renée Hartevelt was from the Netherlands and was also pursuing a Ph.D. in France. She had no clue about what Issei Sagawa was planning. According to him, he considered himself very ugly and believed that by eating the girl, he could absorb her energy. Anyway, what happened next I told you at the beginning of this video. He kept parts of her body in the fridge and even took pictures of them. Later, he put the remaining body parts in a suitcase and planned to throw them into a lake. However, while on his way, the police caught him. Friends, this incident was so disturbing that it spread like wildfire in both France and Japan. But what happened next was very disappointing. This cannibal never went to jail. His father hired a very high-profile lawyer. That lawyer proved in court that Issei Sagawa was mentally ill. For the next 2 years, this case went on, and the French court declared him mental, sending him to a mental asylum in France. After staying there for a while, he was deported back to Japan. In Japan, he was sent to a mental asylum again, but after some time, it was proven that he was mentally stable, meaning he was released from the asylum. Friends, his case in France had already been closed because he was declared mental there, and now in Japan he was free, despite being a cannibal who confessed to killing and eating a girl. Friends, this decision was heavily criticized. At the time, there was immense hatred for this man in Japan. But even then, Issei Sagawa roamed freely, gave interviews, and even wrote several books. He would even give reviews of restaurants. In other words, a murderer and a cannibal was living his life freely. He said that he had made a huge mistake and that his punishment was that people hated him, but in reality, he should have received the death penalty. He was not even allowed to attend his parents' funerals after their deaths. Even his own family hated him so much. This man died in 2022 and remained free until his death.